this is the print on demand challenge day. I'm going to say 34, but
Lord.
not 34, 44. Um, but I may have to renumber some of those because Larry is like, that number is wrong. Um, anyway, so we've been talking about variation listings and, or not variation listings, family group listings. In essence, we are going to hit variation listings. And what I did was, we've been working on so much, so let me see if I can just go straight to what I've been working on, projects. Because all my VAs use this account. We all use the same account. I don't have multiple accounts. So we created this awesome cluster photo over the last couple of days. Not that it's perfect in any kind of way. We could do some more with it, but we're not. These are shirts that are pretty straight. And I did find another listing yesterday, which is now closed. So I'm using one hand to type. So allow me a little bit of grace and mercy because I'm not going to type as fast with one hand. Hold on. Group t-shirts. So I found yesterday a t-shirt set, and I'm probably not going to find it only because I'm looking for it, that was not cropped at the bottom. You know, that wasn't like this, and they were laying flat, but they were not cropped at the bottom. And here's one that's not terribly cropped at the bottom. So you can, again, find a picture from Placeit. This one, same thing. This one looks like probably that they may have gotten it from Placeit, and then they just use that. And here's another one. So this is an example of what ultimately you probably want to create. You can use Placeit to download the pictures. You have to make sure the background is transparent, and then drop them all into Canva, place them on top of each other like this. And if you uploaded your logo to Placeit, then it'll superimpose on all the images. And so this is an example of a picture that's not exactly the same as mine, but similar in concept, where the shirts are not sort of cropped or, tied at the bottom. So there are some listings, and that will make you stand out. They're clearly getting some sales. They've got 3,318. And so again, straight shirts. This one is one that's another one of straight shirts. I'm confident that people are looking for them. Here's another one that's a mock-up that has straight shirts that's not cropped at the bottom. So don't overlook, even though the majority of the pictures that are up here have that little, have either the tie at the bottom or they're kind of cropped at the bottom. Don't overlook the opportunity to potentially, create your own using Placeit if you're comfortable with Canva and you're comfortable with having a clear background. So when you download it from from Placeit, I can tell you that the dimensions are not possibly going to be 2000 by 2000. Okay, just want you to be aware of that. So how do you fix that problem? And you're probably going to need to download one with a background and one without a background. So when I say one with a background and one without a background, well, the reason you're downloading it as a transparency is so that you can overlay it one on top of the other inside of Canva. So you need a clear background to be able to do that. So you're going to download it with no background whatsoever. And then you'll download it again with a background. You can choose the background that you want to put behind there. I could try to find something with the slats or whatever, but the chances are I probably won't find it. If I can find one with a fence as the background. No, of course not. So what you can do is you can choose a background just to put and download it a second time. Let me see if any of these, download it a second time. So one will be with a clear background, and the way that you get the clear background is you choose this, which is your transparency on your background for Placeit. So you'll choose this option to download it the first time. Then the second time you're downloading it with a color or something on the background. And the reason that you're doing that is, remember, when you create a bundle listing, you're going to need to have your cluster photo and the standalone photos. The standalone photos are just going to be the item by itself. So if you can find a background that you like inside of Placeit, you can throw that in the back. If you can't find one, let me see. See if they've got one with textures. Okay, so I could choose this one. There we go. So this one is textures, and I can choose this one, and I'll download this particular one as one of my options. Now, what happens when I've downloaded both? I've downloaded the ones with the clear backgrounds. I've uploaded it over to Canva. I've placed them, stacked them on top of each other, 3 t-shirts, 5 t-shirts, 7 t-shirts, whatever. And I've got them all stacked on top of each other. Now I come back over to Placeit. I download the ones with some type of background. So all I did was choose texture, and one of the fence ones came up. So you could, you can choose some of these other ones. I just chose the fence because that's what they're using. There's a bunch of them that are on Canva where they're using this kind of, slat fence background. So I don't see any others. Oh, here's one. That's a little lighter. Anyway, you can choose any of them that you want. I'm just going to stick with the original one that I've already downloaded. So you can scroll through here, find something that you like for the background. And then once you download it a second time, what we're going to do is we're going to have to resize it, because if I try to upload it to Etsy right now, it's going to say it's too small. So how do I resize it? And I'll show you what I mean. Etsy saying it's too small. So we just downloaded this mock-up, and it's this one. And if I upload it, I'm going to get the triangle, which means the size is too small, right? So if the size is too small, I'm going to come over here, and I am going to open this particular, I can left click on or right click on it. And then you can open with Paint. That's one way to do it. Paint will allow you to edit it. And if you have a Mac, there's like a tool that's equivalent to Paint. I think it's called something similar to Paint, but not exactly the same. So you can do that. Or you can go and click on the actual image. And then once, oh, it opened it up in Paint anyway. All right, so it opened it up in Paint. I wasn't expecting that. But under normal circumstances, if you just click on it, it's not going to always open it up in Paint. The great thing about Paint is that you can resize it. In Paint, and even the Mac version of Paint, you can click on Resize. You go to Pixels, and you can resize it to the 2000 by 2000 that Etsy requires. Now, each platform is going to have their own requirement. I'm just going to go to 2005 because, again, I want to try and increase the quality of it. So, and I know that I still have this thing in the middle, but this is for the purposes of this exercise, continuing with the same image. Otherwise, I have to get a brand new image. So I've resized it, and I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now, the size of this particular image is bigger, so I won't get the message. So again, if you ever have an image that is too small as far as Etsy is concerned, you can left click on it or right click on it, and then you can click on Open With and Open with Paint. If you double click on the image, you can open it in Editor, Edit Image, and then once you click on Edit Image, it'll bring it into Paint. So those are 2 ways to get there. All right, so I am going to get rid of this. And we're now going to sort of build our listing. I don't know if I downloaded the picture from Canva. So if I haven't downloaded the picture from Canva, I got to go get it. So I thought I did. We're going to go download this particular picture. And we're just going to, it's only one. So I'm just going to go ahead and download it. Naming it can help you to be able to find it easier. So you just remember what you named it. So now that I've named it, I'm going to come back over. I'm going to open it. Ugh, come on. So this image is bigger than 10 meg. I don't know if you saw that message that popped up. Yeah. It must be under 10 meg. So I think that was the message that Teresa originally got. Well, I don't know what happened here. This is weird. Okay, so let me cancel. So in order to, you can compress the image or you can re-download it to a smaller file size. So since the image, it says is too big, I'm going to go ahead and click on share, and I'm going to see if I can compress the image to a lower quality inside of Etsy. I think we dropped hers into another tool, but if you got it, you may have this option if you upgrade to Pro. If you don't upgrade to Pro, you won't see it. So I'm going to download this again, and I'm going to compress the size of the file because there's no real way for me to know directly in Canva how big this thing is. So I'm going to download it again. And then once I do that, I'm going to show you the two file sizes when it finishes. All right, so it came down a second time. It's got the little paren 1. So that's the one that's the smaller file size. And if you are checking to see, like, I don't know what the file size is, you can click on View, and then, oops. Okay. So I can click on View, Details. If I go to Details, I can scroll across, and I can see the file sizes. I don't think the other one, PNG1. Yeah, let me refresh. There it is. Okay. So PNG1 is the one that we're looking at, this top one. And so it went from being this size, which is 12,000 KB, to this size, which is 5,000 KB. So that's a much smaller file by about 7,000 KB, which is 7 meg, or more than 7 meg. I forget the conversion. I know what it is when it's GB. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload this. And I'm going to choose this one because it's a smaller file size. So if you ever get that message, choose the compressed inside of Canva. Okay, now I'm going to upload all of my secondary images. And so why does it matter that I actually put a background on this? So before I upload this one, I'm going to upload this one. Remember, it was transparent. So then I'm going to choose the second one. Remember, it's transparent. Then I'm going to upload the third one. And then I will choose the one that I put a background on for the purposes of this activity. So what can happen with transparent images is sometimes transparent images, when they upload, can just look black in the background versus looking white in the background. So if you ever upload something and it's still in its transparent state, there's a possibility that when we actually publish this listing, that this background could actually look black instead of white. So again, putting a background on it and re-downloading it, resizing it can help you. And you have 10 image holders here. So if I wanted to, I could make sure that I have an image of all of the shirts together, then an image of, like, if I had put a toddler shirt in here, I could show the picture of the adult shirt and then a person in the shirt, then from the chin down to the waist, then the dad shirt, then the mom shirt, and the teen shirt, and then showing the shirt by itself, and then a person with it with the shirt on, and then the baby shirt, and then a shirt person with that on, and then the size chart. So I can fill the whole thing out so that I have all the information that I need to be able to complete this listing. I'm gonna adjust this thumbnail because clearly it's a little off center. Okay, so then the next thing is I'm going to go down here and, we're going to start the process of creating a listing. Now, when you're creating like that cluster listing image, you do want to make sure that you've done, your research on what it is that you're trying to create. If you're doing listings where the shirt has already got the pre-printed design on it and that's your intent, then, whatever, I would go and look at my competitors and get an idea. If you're not really good at creating listings, get an idea of what it is that what they have on their titles, so you can be inspired by that and create your own version of a title for yours. If you're creating shirts where they get to choose what they want on it, again, go look at some of those listings. So, if they want to say something to the effect, if you're doing bridesmaid shirts or family reunion shirts or any of that other stuff, then you need to know what it is that you plan to put or have on that shirt. So you have to know what your words are before you even get started. So because of the fact that I have one working hand, I am going to put gibberish here that is irrelevant to what we're doing. But we've talked about titles, we've talked about descriptions, we've talked about keyword research, we've talked about all of that. So you want to go back to that and use that as a reference. Then who made this? I did, and it's going to be a finished product, and it's made to order. And you're going to choose your category. So we're doing t-shirts, and I could look for t-shirts. Let's see. I don't know if there's a family category in here. Okay, so t-shirts, family, and blah blah blah. Gender neutral. Okay. So then I can keep going. This is where we're going to start with making our changes to our variations. Oh, gosh, this hurts. So I don't know. I think the first one is purple, maybe. So secondary color. Why did I say size? Okay, so I'm going to probably have to create my own. Yeah, we're going to do variations down there because of the fact that US letter came up. So we're going to go and create our own. Ooh. Make sure I didn't clear out all of those. Okay. So as I am populating the first one, the thing that you probably need your variations for is one, the color, two, the size. Those are probably your biggest things. I would encourage you that you should source, if you're doing t-shirts, source them from the same print-on-demand supplier and choose the same kind. Don't try to mix and match, because then you got to deal with the fabric differences and also potentially how it's cut or whether or not it's pre-washed and it fades or all that other stuff. So if you choose the same supplier to fulfill the entire order, that'll make it a whole lot easier. So we're going to start with the colors, and we're going to do size. So my size options is I'm going to, if I can type, choose a add a variation. Yeah. Okay, so I do not have the ability to move this hand. Oh God. Oh, come on. All right. So I don't have any of this. Prices may vary based on size. Let me delete this. Let me start again. I think I have to go add them first because this is my test account and I don't have them in here. So I have to go add them first. Add a variation. I don't remember how I did this before. So nope. None of these work. There you go. All right, none of these work. Thank you. It's been a long time since I've done this. All right, so none of these work. So I'm going to add variation. And so we're going to do small adults. I'm typing with one hand. Sorry, guys. And then none of these work. And I'm going to have to add all these sizes one at a time. I'm sorry. Medium, adult, add. Then we're going to add the next one. I need to add another variation. Add a variation. I don't remember. Yeah, let me in. Oh, God. Woo. Typing with one hand. Typing so slow. I need to add some more variations. Okay, so I need to, and I may have added these differently than I did before. That's add option, size and color. I think this is supposed to be size and color. That's what I did wrong. Rename. This is size. And this is rename color. This is I know this is going to take forever. One finger at a time. You need to know what the sizes are for the supplier that you're working with. And some of them will say that the adult small is the same as the youth large, but if they don't, then you want to check that. And if You can actually edit your adult small to add all of that. Okay, so then you would go through and you would add the kids, you would do all of that, and then you would update. So I'll have sizes, and then I have colors, and if I need to add more colors, I can. And if there are more variations, I think there's one more that you can add, but I don't remember right now how I did that. So I'm going to go put some gibberish in all of this. Let me go do that. Leave blank small. Optional, 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 optional. Automatic renewal. If you are doing the group photo, you may want to put it on manual if you're testing to see if this is a group that's going to sell versus automatic renewal, even though it's 20 cents for automatic renewal. So you may, again, decide that you're going to test out a couple of different variation types of combinations. So I was putting gibberish in here. So I'm putting gibberish. And then whoever your production partner is, I don't think I've added Printful in here. Not in this account. So you can go and get your production partner's information. I think Printful has an office here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. There's a lot of stuff here. So you can go get the address, type in with one finger. This is their address. Control Z. And you can put some gibberish in here about your partner. While you're working with this partner, I have outgrown it. I don't have the technical ability or equipment to make this entirely by myself. What is your role? I design everything myself and get technical help. So you design everything yourself, and then they make my product and I do the rest. Or they create the finished product then I alter it, or they do everything for me. So you can figure out which one you think works best for your partner. And again, you'll need to do that. Oh, what field did I not fill in? I did put in an address. That's a legitimate address. That's a legitimate address. Enter a location. I did. I did put in an address. Capel, Texas. Okay, maybe it'll let me save now. All right, so you want to add your tags. Again, going back and looking at what eRank gives you, looking at the research that you did from the other listings that you're kind of like either competing with or comparing to, or the ideas or the concepts that you came up with. So some of them that came to mind for me is, I know my church just spent a pretty penny on t-shirts for youth camp. A lot of shirts. So maybe I want to put tags in my listing so that if churches are looking to be able to print mass quantity shirts, whatever the tags are that are common for that, I want to make sure I include that in my listing if that's what I'm planning on doing. If I'm really just going to do, I don't know, groups of 10 or 12 or 20, you want to make sure that that information is in your listing. So again, take some inspiration and some guidance from existing listings. So include your tags, make sure you add those, and add your material if you know what your shirt is made of. More than likely it's going to be cotton. Put your price. I'm going to put a price in here. And blah, blah, blah. Then Printful, if Printful is doing the printing, the shipping, I know that Printful's price is $3.99 for shipping. So I can go ahead and choose that because I've already got the integration in place. If I'm only shipping to the US, I don't have to worry about the tariff number. And since they've already got the information for the shirt, I can just go ahead and click on publish. We're going to see what this listing, oh, yeah, it's going to charge me. I know. Okay, fine. So I can go view my listing, which I know, I'm going to take it down. But anyway, so it's all gibberish. And what you're going to see here is there's my sizes. Someone can choose the size, and then they can choose the color. And there you go. And they can add it to the cart, and then they can buy that particular item from me. So that is how you get your variations in. We talked about how you get your pictures and all your combinations. So let me go remove this, even though I paid 20 cents. All right, so what questions can I answer regarding that process? I know I covered that process sort of over 3 days, and covering it at one fell swoop is probably easier. But what are there any questions that I can help answer?
I don't have any.
Okay. So I want you to think about your, if you're going to decide at some later point that you want to sell group shirts or group products. It doesn't matter if it's shirts. It could be group socks, group leggings, group tote bags, group backpacks, group phone cases, group whatever. If you want to do that, you can use the two different ways. One, the first way is to get your mock-ups directly from Etsy, because there are sellers that are on Etsy that will sell you your mock-ups. There are also, you can find mock-ups on Shutterfly or Shutterstock and Creative Fabrica, so you can buy them from there. Or number two, you can create your own by using Placeit and Canva to do the heavy lifting for you. Either way, if you want to stand out and you don't want to look like everybody else, you might want to create your own. If you're okay with looking like everybody else, as you can see, there's clearly a theme here. Most of them look very similar to each other. So there's nothing wrong with that. If that works for you, go for it. So you decide. All right. All right. So tomorrow we do have class. I can't tell you what I'm teaching tomorrow because I don't remember. But probably bring your notebook and pad so that we can continue on wrapping up, some of the printing on products. Go out and do a little more looking at the print on demand suppliers. We'll probably continue the print on demand suppliers Sunday, and then Monday transition over to low content. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye for now. And thanks for your grace and mercy today as I stumbled through with one arm. We'll say goodbye for now.
That's for you. I hope you feel better.
Oh, thank you. All right. You ladies have a great one.
Good night.
Good night.